Welcome back to TLDR.gov. Today we're diving into one of the most talked about pieces of legislation to come out of Congress this year, the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. Both the House and the Senate have now passed their own versions, and while they share a name, the details are critically different. We've read through thousands of pages to break down what you need to know. We'll cover the big-ticket items both sides agree on, highlight the massive defense spending plans, and then unpack the major changes the Senate made. Let's get into it. First, let's look at the common ground. Both bills are massive reconciliation packages that aim to reshape major parts of the U.S. economy and government. Here are the key areas where they broadly align. Broad tax cuts. Both bills extend and enhance tax cuts for middle-class families and workers, featuring popular provisions like no tax on tips and no tax on overtime. New immigration fees. Both bills introduce a slate of new fees for immigration services, including fees for asylum applications, parole and employment authorization documents, Trump accounts. Both versions include a provision to create Trump accounts, which are new savings vehicles aimed at helping young people save and invest from an early age, massive defense spending, and of course, both bills authorize huge increases in defense spending across similar categories, and we'll dive into the specifics of that right now. Both the House and Senate versions pour tens of billions of dollars into the military, focusing on a few key areas. First, there's a major focus on quality of life for military personnel. Both bills include billions for modernizing military unaccompanied housing and barracks, boosting the basic allowance for housing to help with living costs, increasing funding for the Defense Health Program, and expanding funds for tuition assistance and childcare fee assistance for service members. Next, both bills invest heavily in shipbuilding and the Navy. They fund an expansion of the shipbuilding industrial base, including for things like turbine generators and additive manufacturing. The Senate version gets very specific, funding a second Virginia-class submarine in fiscal year 2026, and allocating $150 million to retain inactive reserve fleet ships. Finally, there's a big push for high-tech warfare and nuclear modernization. Both bills fund advanced systems like hypersonic weapons, directed energy capabilities, and military satellites. The Senate version also specifically funds the X-37B military spacecraft program. They also accelerate the modernization of the nuclear triad, with billions dedicated to the Sentinel ICBM program and the B-21 long-range bomber. So, a major increase in defense spending is a shared priority. But beyond defense, the Senate made some game-changing additions and subtractions to the rest of the bill. Here are the standout provisions you'll only find in the Senate version. First, the Senate introduces a brand new tax targeting a niche but growing industry: third-party litigation funding. This provision would impose a 31.8% tax on the qualified litigation proceeds received by a third party funding a lawsuit. This is a major policy addition that wasn't in the House bill, and could have big implications for the legal world. Next, in the Judiciary section, the Senate created something called the Biden Fund. That's right. The Bridging Immigration-Related Deficits Experienced Nationwide Fund would provide grants to states for costs related to immigration enforcement. The name itself is obviously a political statement and a standout feature of the Senate's approach. And, on the national debt, the Senate upped the ante. While the House bill proposed increasing the debt limit by $4 trillion, the Senate version raises that figure to $5 trillion. Just as important as what the Senate added is what it removed. Federal employees take note. The House bill included several provisions that would have cut federal employee benefits. The Senate version removes all of them. Gone from the Senate bill are the proposals to eliminate the FERS annuity supplement for certain employees, create an at-will employment option for new federal hires, and institute a filing fee for Merit Systems Protection Board claims. The only provision affecting federal workers that remains in both bills is the FEHB Protection Act, which focuses on program integrity through audits and eligibility verification. Finally, a few other key tweaks stand out. On funding for prohibited entities that provide abortions, the House bill proposed a 10-year ban. The Senate shortens this dramatically to just a 1-year ban. And on the state and local tax, or SALT deduction, the Senate version offers a complex temporary increase to the cap, which would eventually revert back to $10,000 after 2029. So there you have it. While both versions of the One Big Beautiful Bill share a foundation of tax cuts and military spending, the Senate's version carves its own path. It introduces a major new tax on litigation funding, takes a pointed shot with the Biden Fund, raises the debt ceiling even higher, and completely reverses course on the proposed cuts to federal employee benefits. Now that both chambers have passed their versions, the stage is set for what will likely be a very intense reconciliation process to iron out these major differences. What do you think of these changes? Which version do you prefer? Let us know in the comments below. And as always, for more deep dives into the policies that shape our country, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Thanks for watching TLDR.gov.